Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm going to be doing a movie review today, and that is Batman Returns. Came out in 1992, and it stars Michael Keaton once again as Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, Selena Kyle, and Danny DeVito as the Penguin. It's directed by Tim Burton once again. And I watched the film again on Blu-ray. First time seeing it on Blu-ray, and revisiting this film now because I haven't seen it in quite some time. I have to say, this film has problems. I know a lot of people like the film, and I do like the film, but I can see problems with the film. And I can understand why the film, when people saw this film, when it first came out in the summer of 1992, they, there was some criticism. Even I had criticism towards this film when I initially saw this film. It's like I liked things about it, like the action scenes and special effects. But when it came to the story, there's some problems. I have to be honest here. There's some problems. I'll tell you what I like about the film. What I like is Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, as Selena Kyle. She's the highlight of the film. Between her and Batman, Bruce Wayne, their dual personalities, that's the best part of this film. And if I was involved in the writing in some way, I would make the entire film about Catwoman as the main villain, instead of the Penguin, because that's my main issue with this film, is Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. I mean, I don't mind Danny DeVito as a actor. He's a fine actor, but in this particular part, he's kind of annoying. To be honest, he's annoying at times. He's obnoxious. He's not really that funny. The lines they give him, he's not really that funny. There's no memorable quotes from him. This is nothing like the first film. Different feel, different mood. This is a different movie than the first film. This film is a lot darker, and it feels like more like a horror film than a superhero action film. At times I feel like I'm watching a horror movie. So it's like, I can understand why parents, they were a little bit concerned. And there was complaints, there was a backlash a little bit, criticism with how dark this film was. I mean, you got the Penguin trying to kill newborns. That's the main theme of this film. The Penguin's trying to kill newborns. This is part of your story. His parents, the very beginning of the film, throw him, reject him, and throw him down where he's leading to a sewer. And that starts off your film because he's hideous. He's freakish looking. He's not normal looking. He was born deformed. So his parents didn't want anything to do with him. He doesn't have 5 fingers. He only has 3 digits. And that starts off your film. And 33, years later, you got this hideous, penguin character that grew up in a sewer. How he did, I have no idea. They don't really go into detail about it. All it showed was penguins found him. Did the penguins raise him? I know when he was older, he had this, circus. All these people that, were part of his, I don't know. They're just part of his family or part of his people he controlled and had them do things, destroy things in Gotham City. I have no idea. You got this crazy circus of people that are like clowns, and they got some guys are got a skull head, and you got this guy blowing fire. He's like a devil. And it's pretty cool. I don't mind the circus, freaks, characters. And they live in the sewer as well with the penguin. I don't mind them. They're interesting. And it's pretty cool fight scenes with Batman and these circus freaks people. There's one cool scene where one of the clown guys, he grabs a hold of Selina Kyle, and he's got a taser, to her, face, and Batman, knocks him out, basically. He shoots his little, I don't know what is, some kind of gun or something that shoots it out, and then, the clown's like, you miss, and the wire hit the wall behind him, so Batman pulls the wire, and the concrete brick comes out and hits the clown in his head and knocks him out. That's a funny scene. And Selina Kyle kicking the clown and stuff. And their interactions with each other. Some of the dialogue I like with Selina Kyle and Bruce Wayne and Catwoman and Batman. That's the best part. And also, I didn't mind the Max Shrek guy, Christopher Walken's character. A lot of people don't like him. Honestly, I think I would have rather had him as Penguin than Danny DeVito. Now, as far as the way the Penguin looks in this film, the makeup's great. And, the visuals are great. It's always great. Tim Burton does a really good job with visuals. He's a really good director. And this is definitely more of his style. because he had more creative control of this film, obviously. So it's more imaginative, and it feels even more like a Tim Burton film. But at the same time, it's really dark. And it just, I don't know, at times I feel put off by certain scenes in the film. Like with the penguin. He goes and bites some guy's nose, and blood starts squirting out. Just random shit like that. He wasn't very likable. At least the Joker was likable. He was crazy, insane, you know. But he was likable. This penguin character, he's not very likable. And his motive, it's just, he doesn't really have a motive. You know, at least with the Joker, he had a motive. You know, Batman and him, you know, the Joker got thrown into this, you know, chemicals, this, you know, this waste, or this green kind of, you know, waste of chemicals that change the color of skin. So, you know, that's why the Joker, you know, wanted to go after Batman. You know. But in this, the Penguin, his motive doesn't make much sense. Why is he going after Batman? What did Batman do? And even with Catwoman, her motive going after Batman doesn't make a whole lot of sense either. These characters, these villains, their motives don't make a whole lot of sense. And not only that, how can a baby, you know, this, you know, Oswald Copperpot, or whatever his name was, how did he survive 33 years in a sewer? You don't explain that. They don't really go into detail. They don't have enough character development with this film. And there's plot holes in this film as well with the narrative. Max Schreck kills Selina Kyle because she's snooping around, you know, in the office when she shouldn't be. So he doesn't trust her, so he pushes her out of a window. And she falls down, she's dead. But because a bunch of cats circle around her and lick her face, she's suddenly resurrected. That doesn't make any sense. Now she's got 9 lives. How the hell did she survive that? The Joker didn't survive that in the first film. He fell off the building and died instantly. So if that's the case, of Catwoman, or I should say Selina Kyle, if she can survive that, then Joker can survive. All these villains are immortal because she can survive it. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm looking at this as a story. When it comes to a story, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. She gets shot 5 times by Max Schreck towards the end of the film. 5 times. at least. And it's like nothing. Then she takes a taser and puts it in her mouth and his mouth and electrocutes themselves. Max Shrek is dead, but she's still alive, running around. Not only that, she survives all that towards the end of the film. Not only that, but when she was Selena Kyle, the secretary of Max Shrek, she was just this insecure person that had issues, you know. But she seemed like the type that just didn't do a whole lot of stuff, you know. She just kind of... She was one of those people that was kind of like down on her luck type of thing. She just was a secretary, and that was pretty much what she was. They didn't really go into any detail about her character, but what I found weird is that after she dies and she's destroying everything in her apartment, making it all dark and, you know, spray painting, you know, all of her dolls and toys and everything dark and evil and everything, 'cause she's pissed off at Max Shrek killing her and all that. She makes this costume as Catwoman, and then she knows how to flip around and use a whip, and she didn't seem like the type that would know how to do that before. Suddenly she has these abilities where she can fight and she can crack a whip and, you know, do all this stuff. All this type of fighting. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You need some kind of development. You need something just to add to these characters so you understand them. I like the psychological aspect to it. You know, the dual personalities of, you know, Bruce Wayne and Batman and Catwoman and Selena Kyle. I don't mind that part, you know. But as far as the story, there's some issues. But I do like, you know, Catwoman and them fighting, and there's a lot of positive things to say about this film. Visually, you know, with the different things that are being used, like the Batmobile can now be broken into a missile, and he's got a bat boat, and he's got where he can glide around with his costume, you know, which is pretty cool. I mean, there's some cool things about the film. I really like the action scenes. I like the, you know, the clowns and the whole circus thing. And I like Catwoman. I liked all that stuff. A mistletoe can be diddly if you eat it. You know, that line is fine. I mean, there's a couple of lines that are memorable. You know, one memorable line from the Penguin. You don't think you'll win, do you? And Batman's like, things change. That's about the most memorable things about the film. It's nothing like the first film as far as how memorable and quotable that film is. This film, I would say, was probably the start of Batman kind of going a downward spiral. I will have to say that because this film was kind of teetering as far as story structure. It had nice visuals, had good action scenes, it had cool stuff with Batman and Catwoman and Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle. I didn't mind Max Schreck. I didn't mind all this. It's just the Penguin. His motive. Him trying to be mayor. And it's him trying to kill newborns. I mean, this movie's pretty dark. And I can understand why Warner Brothers was concerned about, Tim Burton making another film that could be possibly darker than this. Because this is a lot darker than the first film, as far as subject matter. And it has a different feel to it as well. Like it says, it plays out at times like a horror film. And I can appreciate a lot of things about it on a visual standpoint. It's a great looking film. The art department, the statues, the out of this world, Gotham City, although, certain characters are pushed to the side a little bit, like Commissioner Gordon. He has hardly any screen time in this film. He was pretty, he had a good amount of screen time in the first film. He was a, supporting character. But here, he's barely in the film. So, I don't know. I mean, it's one of those films I can watch it, and if I don't compare it to the first film, it's a film that it's average. I have to say this film is average. Because the story, there's some problems. I mean, I do like some things about it. There's a good amount of good things in it. It's just... I wish there was, less Penguin. Give him less screen time. Or not even have him in the film. That's another problem. It's why you need all these villains. You got 3 villains in this film. The first film had 1 villain. This has 3. The Penguin, Max Schreck, and Catwoman. And really, you just need 1. And Catwoman should have been the main, villain in this film. Because she's the most interesting one. In their relationship, between Batman and Catwoman. And then it finally being revealed to them that, they finally realize that, Catwoman, or Selina Kyle realizes that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And Bruce Wayne realizes Catwoman is Selina Kyle. So that was a pretty cool little moment. Like I said, there's some cool stuff about this film. It's just, it's a film that, when it comes to story, it has problems. It's not perfect. And it's definitely not as good as the original film. And, like I said, I appreciate it as a visual standpoint. It's a good looking film. It's entertaining. And, it's a film that, I wish that they did things a little bit differently. Just focus more on Catwoman. Forget about Penguin. He's not that interesting of a character. To be the main villain. But anyway, that's my review of the film. I mean, like I said, I like things about it. It's just, this was the starting point, I think, of this Batman franchise starting to kind of teeter. It started its downfall a little bit. Just a little bit. And I could see why, Warner Brothers wanted to make another film that was, more lighter, like the film Batman Forever that came out 3 years after this film. I remember McDonald's was selling toys of this. And the film was rated PG-13. It's dark. This is not a film for kids. But anyways, this is my review of Batman Returns. Hope you enjoyed this review. And I hope you guys have a good day. Take it easy.